اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. We continue inshallah with our Surah Summary series, and today we will talk about Surah Al-Muzzamil. And as a quick revision, الجزء التاسع والعشرون, the 29th juz', which is also a cluster of surahs in the Quran from Mulk to Al-Mursalat. And these surahs talk about aspects of the da'wah. They talk about, they're very good and very precise in explaining to us how da'wah is going to be performed. The first four talk about the necessities. What do you need as a person who hopes, inshallah, to spread the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be a da'iyah? You need a number of elements. You need knowledge, and you need ethics, you need a connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you need a certain code of conduct, which is what Al-Mulk, Al-Qalam, Al-Haqqa, and Al-Ma'arij cover. And so Nuh talks about an example of how da'wah can be done perfectly, but still people still don't listen, they don't follow, and that will happen. Meaning you're not always going to get إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You don't always get who you're looking to get, and you try your best, and sometimes those who you think should respond don't. And Surah Al-Jinn yesterday was an example of when da'wah works, even though the person who's performing it wasn't even sure that he was performing it. When you just perform da'wah with your ethics, when you just be a good person, when you just figure out what the values are, and you adhere to these values, and that will bring people to Islam much more powerfully than a million of these halaqat and lectures and talks and all that stuff. And I hope you believe that. Really, what we do is as speakers is very, very overrated. Extremely overrated. The Prophet ﷺ would speak very few words in very sporadic ways, and he didn't do the number of durus that we do now in terms of frequency, because there was no need. ﷺ's ethics carried the deen. If you just watched the way he lived, you saw him, ﷺ. The way he was carrying himself in life was much stronger, much more powerful than in all the lectures and all the khutbahs in the world. And today we're going to talk about Surah Al-Muzzamil. Surah Al-Muzzamil and Surah Al-Muddathir are very similar. I'll talk about one today and one tomorrow. And they focus on two aspects of da'wah that are extremely important. Muzammil talks about what you need in order for you to be able to actually do this, what fuel you require. And Surah Al-Muddathir says how you're going to carry yourself in front of people, just to kind of emphasize the concept. Surah Al-Jinn didn't. Surah Al-Jinn just existed that way. It didn't tell us how you're supposed to carry yourself. Surah Al-Muddathir will. Surah Al-Muzammil, however, will tell us what fuel it is that you need. Imagine trying to carrying Islam. If you start young and you're going to live 70 years carrying the deen and performing da'wah, how do you ensure that you have the ability to hold on to it and actually get the job done and not give up and not fall short of your goal, or not find that the obstacles and the hurdles along the way are too difficult for you to overcome? How do you ensure that? How do you make sure that happens? Surah Al-Muzammil tells us how that's going to occur. It is one of the earliest surahs revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. Both in Muzammil and Muddathir are. And when I say earliest, I'm talking number 2, 3, 4. One of those. The sequence isn't fully clear to us, but they're extremely early on. And the Prophet ﷺ is being called upon within the surah. It's called Al-Muzammil by a name he was never called upon again, but it refers to the time he came running down the mountain ﷺ, when he said Zammiluni, Dathiruni. Those are two words he used, meaning cover me, blanket me. And the difference between tazammul and tadathur, tazammul meaning you're wearing something that is touching your skin, it's very close to you. Tadathur is dithar is what you wear on top of it. And it's very revealing to what the surah is going to talk about, because in Muzammil is going to talk about something very personal for you. In order for you, inshallah, to be a good da'iyah, you need a few things to work out for you on a personal level. And then in Muddathir is how you're going to carry yourself, what people are going to see of you in terms of your behaviors. And it's a perfect, the namings are perfect and the concepts are extremely revealing. So he's called him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya ayyuhal muzammil, and then immediately the commands begin. And we're gonna follow along 8 separate commands that he's given, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in this surah, that all explain that together in total will explain what I just brought up, which is what we need, the fuel that we need in order for us to actually be able to do this, to carry the deen and have it as a lifelong mission for ourselves. The first one, which is the easiest and the most obvious, قال سبحانه وتعالى قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو ينقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه. قم الليل, pray during the night, which is what we'll be doing inshallah in another half hour or so. To the Prophet ﷺ early on, this was an obligatory action. This was mandatory for him ﷺ. It's continued to be mandatory. Some scholars say it continued to be mandatory until the first year of Hijrah. Some say it continued to be mandatory for him ﷺ until the day he died. Meaning for us, it was optional. For him, it was a different story. He had certain things were expected from him ﷺ a bit higher. He was told initially to actually pray the full night, except a little bit, just a little bit, enough for you to maybe sleep. نصفه, or maybe half of it, أو انقص منه قليلا, or maybe a little bit less than half, أو زد عليه, or a little bit more than half, something like that. He was given the command ﷺ to pray during the night between 5 to 8 hours every night. And this was his lifestyle sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Unlike what we do. He was going 5 to 8 hours sallallahu alaihi wasallam every single night. So when Ramadan came, where the concept of Qiyam al-Layl was even more powerful, he would increase that. So he would pray up to 9 and 10 hours a night, alayhi salatu wasalam. So please don't complain about the hour and a half that we're doing here. It's an hour and a half. He was doing 8, 9 hours, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, every night. So the first one was Qiyam al-Layl. And the reason that we do this throughout Ramadan, one of the reasons, is that inshallah, if we adhere to it properly and you do it every night, hopefully after Ramadan you can continue this beautiful habit. Hopefully this action, this act of worship of Qiyam is something you can carry with you after Ramadan. Maybe not every night, obviously not in the same length, not doing a juz' a night, an hour and a half, but maybe 2 rak'ah a night, maybe 2 rak'ah every 2 nights, something that just continues with you in terms of this habit, and I'll explain to you why in a moment because the surah points out why. So that's the first command, قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. And the Prophet ﷺ was given obviously a much heavier command and heavier burden in terms of how to do it. Number two, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. Second was recite the Quran. Make sure that you're doing Qiyam al-Layl and that you are reciting the Quran. Tartil means when you read it and you're reading it in a way where you are understanding it and you're taking time to comprehend it. That's what tartil means. You're taking it slow. You're reading it in a way where you're actually able to absorb the meanings that exist within the verses that you're reciting. And that's obviously what we do maybe for Taraweeh is a little bit quicker because of the hope that we finish the whole Quran within the month and we don't keep you here for too long. But at the end, when it comes to Qiyam, when you're hoping to actually perform Qiyam in your life, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. And recitation of the Quran in general is the second command he was given, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right after that in the surah, he says subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّا سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا. Indeed, we're going to put upon you, we're going to have you carry a very heavy burden. قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا, word, a message that is heavy, that is difficult to carry. The Prophet ﷺ was told up front that you're going to carry something very heavy. It's not going to be easy, it's not simple, it's not a light weight, it's a heavy weight. And this weight, in order for you to carry it, these are the commands you have to adhere to. That's what Surah Al-Muzzamil does. Surah Al-Muzzamil tells you the commands the Prophet ﷺ needed to follow in order for him to actually be able to endure al-qawl al-thaqil that he carried all throughout his life, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And you and I are the same applies to all of us. If you hope, inshallah, throughout your life, to be able to carry the word of Allah subhanahu, to carry this message, and live with it, and spread it, and continue with your life throughout it, it's a heavy one. It's not. No one's saying that this is going to be light. No one will tell you it's going to be an easy. It's not going to be a piece of cake. It's not a walk in the park. There's going to be hurdles and obstacles and difficulties. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to fail numerous times. You're going to hear people say things to you and break you down and hold you back. And that's how it is. Getting into this, you have to understand the moment you carry the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and start marching forward with the da'wah, with taking it to others, with trying to serve others and serve the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know that it's going to be a bumpy ride. It is not easy. And there's so many moments and points throughout your journey that you're going to feel that you want to give up. Where you're going to feel like, I know what, I'm done. I've tried my best. I gave it everything I can. I'm going to throw the towel. Someone else deal with this. I'm just going to sit home and I can just do my prayers at home and take care of my family. I don't need to continue to be a part of this. I can't tell you how many times I came close to doing that. I come close to it every day. We're like, you know what, I don't, why am I, and then you remind yourself, of course you need to. This is your obligation. This is what it means to carry the load after the Prophet ﷺ, to continue to be in this. This is what it means that you're going to walk down this path and it's going to be difficult. But how do you make sure that you're able to do it? That's what Surah Al-Muzzamil teaches. Meaning, I hope yani, what I'm saying is coming full circle for you as you hear it being said. Meaning, when he said, قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا, it wasn't an aspect of worship that the Prophet ﷺ was asked to do because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just wanted him to do it for his own sake. No. He's asked to do it sallallahu alayhi wa sallam because that's what's going to allow him to continue to carry this message moving forward. Meaning, the act of prayer is for us. It's there to serve us. We need it. It's not an extra burden upon us. A lot of the ethics and the behaviors within Islam can be difficult to adhere to. They can be difficult to stick to all your life. There can be a certain burden upon you. Not doing this and not saying that and not acting like this. It can be a burden. But salah, in its definition, in Surah Al-Muzzamil, the way that it was designed to begin with, it wasn't designed as an extra burden, as another one. Here's another difficulty for you to deal with. No, salah was designed as fuel, as a way for you to be able to continue doing this in your life. In order for you to actually be able to carry the load, here's salah. Here's something that will strengthen you. Here's something that will grant you the serenity and the closeness and the calmness and the sakina that you require in your life in order to continue to be a good Muslim. And what's very sad for all of us is that's not how we see it. That's just the sad part of this story. That's just not how we see salah. Salah is just an extra burden for all of us. Just actually adhering to it 5 times a day is tiring, and then Ramadan comes and it adds another couple of hours overnight. So it's just something extra that we have to do that we would rather not do. When if you listen to him, alayhi salatu wasalam, that wasn't his narrative, was it? We know that's not his narrative. We know that, he would tell, أَرِحْنَا بِهَا. Yeah, okay, Bilal, make adhan, let us find, let us enjoy, let us calm down for a few minutes. Let us actually refuel, let's recharge for a few seconds, let's find something that for us, let's take a moment for ourselves. That's what it meant to pray. Take a moment for you. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your protected time so that you can focus, so you can center yourself, so you can take a moment and regenerate. It's not an extra burden. It's not, and it shouldn't be seen as such, even though it is. And that's why he was told, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at the beginning of the surah, قُمِ اللَّيْلِ, pray the whole night. The more you pray, the more you charge. It's not the more you pray, the more you spend of yourself. No. This is, you're strengthening you. Why? إِنَّ لَكَ فِي النَّهَارِ سَبْحًا طَوِيلًا. You have a lot of work to do during the day. It's a long day. There's a lot that needs to be done. You need to make sure you're prepared to do it all. How are you going to do that? You're going to spend a lot of time. You're going to make sure that relationship that you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is optimized. It's at its best so that you can continue to do this. And that's what salah means. And that's how it was presented to the Prophet ﷺ early on. Surah Al-Muzzamil, 2nd, 3rd surah, 4th, tops, the early revelations. And he continued to practice it ﷺ all throughout his life. So number 1, قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Number 2, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. After that, وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ. Invocation. You're going to find that all of the commands that follow are commands that exist within prayer. When you perform salah, you're going to وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. You're going to read the Quran. Number 3, you're going to وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ. You're going to be continuously reminding yourself and invocating the name of your Lord by doing tasbih in different forms. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim or Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. This is there for you. When we say this, we're saying this for us. It doesn't make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala any more powerful. It doesn't give him any more sovereignty subhanahu wa ta'ala over anything. It's just a reminder for ourselves. The closer your heart is to comprehending Subhana Rabbiyal Azim and Subhana Rabbiyal A'la and Rabbana wa lakal hamd and all the invocations that you have, the closer you are to actually being able to practice Islam to the full extent of what that means. Number 4, وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبَتِيلًا. Tabattul is to find sincerity, is to put yourself at a position where you're in full humility in front of your Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. All this is in prayer. When you look at the concept of tabattul, that's what you do when you make sujood. When you put your head, the most highly regarded part of your body, on the ground, you don't do that for anyone else. This is only something that you would do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one on earth could command you to perform sujood to them and then you would adhere and put no one but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the concept of sincerity that exists in tabattul. And that's why al-batul is someone who who offers themselves to no one. Al-batul is someone who offers themselves to nobody. They're completely sincere, which is why Maryam alayhi salam was called al-batul, because she offered herself to no one. وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا. Make sure you're extremely sincere. Make sure that you know that you offer yourself to no one but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 5, وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ. And then show perseverance for what people will say as you walk down this road. That's what salah offers. When you do it right, it offers you that ability to persevere, to withstand everything that is happening around you, everything that is being said about you or said to you, all of the doubts and all of the pushbacks and all of the words of discouragement that you're going to go through, all throughout your life as you carry the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is going to require you to persevere. Number 5. Number 6, وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا وَذَرْنِي وَالْمُكَذِّبِينَ أُولِي النَّعْمَةِ. This is all one command. Al-Hajr al-Jamil, like al-Sabr al-Jamil, like many aspects in the deen that we have to do with Jamal, with beauty, is to leave those who are leading you astray. Those who are pulling you in the opposite direction. When you walk away from them, you walk away from them in a way, the nature of it has to be of beauty. Jazakumullah khair, it's getting a bit loud. I can barely hear myself speak. Barakallah feekum, you can maybe bring it down just a little bit. Ahsanallah ilaykum. وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. And this is, you'll follow the word jameel in the Quran if you want. Just follow it out of curiosity to understand it. When it comes to talaq, وَسَرِّحُوهُنَّ سَرَاحًا جَمِيلًا. If you're going to divorce, you're going to do it with beauty. That's the word jameel means beauty. You're going to do it in a beautiful way. It's going to happen in a way where there's no cursing, there's no backstabbing, there's no gossip, there's no animosity, there's no mistreatment. وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. When you walk away from those who discourage you from being a good Muslim, those who hold you back, those who put obstacles in your way as you're trying to be the best person you can be, as you're trying to carry the da'wah of Allah, you will easily recognize these individuals. As you go through, you'll find those who are pushing you forward, allowing you to be better, and those who are holding you back, making it more difficult. Those who do that, وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. Do it in a way that is beautiful. Meaning, do it in a way where you keep the doors open. Don't burn bridges with others. But don't allow others to hold you back. Don't allow others to affect you in a way that ruins what you're trying to do with your life. As you're trying to walk the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's coming your way whether you like it or not. Doesn't matter what age you are. As you walk the path of Allah, there are going to be people who help you, and there's going to be people who don't. Neutral individuals are fine, but the ones who actually hold you back, who continuously remind you of doing things that you know are wrong, continuously throw shubuhat in your mind, or basically just cause you not to do something good that you wanted to do in the first place by a reminder of being lazy or not. وَهَجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. Leave them, just step away from them, just step away from them. And if you do that, you will find what you're looking for within this life. The surah continues after giving these commands, and it says in the middle of it, إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ رَسُولًا شَاهِدًا عَلَيْكُمْ كَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى فِرْعَوْنَ رَسُولًا فَعَصَى فِرْعَوْنُ الرَّسُولَ. And the example in Surah Al-Muzzamil was given of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam with Fir'aun. No other prophet was talked about in Surah Al-Muzzamil. It's only a page and a half. It was just brought up for a second there. And the way it was brought up is that he's saying subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Rasulullah, we sent you as a shahid. Now if you study Arabic language and you study poetry, the word shahid is always an example. That's how they use it. This is the linguistic grammarly law, and we need an example to say that this law is proper. They say the word shahid. Here's the example. The Prophet ﷺ is being told, you are an example. Just like we sent to Fir'aun, Musa as an example, you're also an example. Meaning you have to live a life that people are able to follow. People are able to be similar to. And that's why this whole surah exists. How are you going to do that? How are you going to hold your code of conduct? How are you going to hold those ethics together for the entirety of your life? Are you not going to slip at some point? Are you not going to, maybe fall? And everyone does. But the Prophet ﷺ is being told, you have to be shahid. أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ رَسُولًا شَاهِدًا عَلَيْكُمْ. Meaning, what does it mean? This is what it means. Yawm al-Qiyamah, when you and I come, and we didn't do our job properly, and we say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the way, it was impossible. We read your Quran. Impossible. No way anyone could do what's in your book. It's impossible. Subhanahu wa ta'ala points to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. No, he did it. Here's the example of someone who did it. So if he could do it, alayhi salatu wasalam, then you have no excuse. And that's the concept of shahada in the context that I'm explaining it to you. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, that's why we call a martyr shaheed, because it's the same thing. Those are the people who are able to actually give up their lives, which is almost an impossible thought because it goes against every instinct inside of you to give up your life for anything. But there are examples of it's possible when needed. And the Prophet ﷺ is an example that it is possible to follow this path, to walk this road, to adhere to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you can't do it without the right fuel. You can't do it without قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. You can't do it without وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. You can't do it without وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ. You can't do it without وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا. You can't do it without وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ. You can't do it without وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. Without these commands, you can't do it. These commands are for you and I. They're so we can preserve what we have, so that when we're asked to actually spread the message, we have the strength and we have the power to actually do it, because without these commands, we can't do it. You can't. You're going to burn out. That's why these first maybe 5-6 nights of Ramadan, the masajid are full. I'll show you, I'll take a picture on the 13th or 14th night. And I'll show you the numbers, how they change. Because nafs burns out. It burns out. It burns out because it's hard to continue to do this the whole time. But that's the whole point of Surah Al-Muzzamil. It's explaining this is how you're going to, you want to continue to adhere, then make sure the qiyam is a part, your salah. This is for you. It's not a burden upon you. You're not carrying it. This is for you. This is to help you do it. Here's the Quran, read it, it's going to strengthen you. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be in a relationship where you're continuously invoking Him. This is going to strengthen you. Make sure that you have tabattul. Make sure you're sincere in your intention of why you're doing it. Do not lose track. Do not lose focus of why you're doing what you're doing. It's easy. It's easy in life to get, as you start out with a very good intention, and then as time progresses, the intention starts to kind of spread out a little bit. And slowly you start forgetting why you got into this in the first place. And you find yourself acting in a way you never acted like at the beginning. You find yourself thinking in a way you didn't think like at the beginning, because really intentions need to be, they're like, you have to screw them down. And life will shake really hard and they'll start going loose and you have to kind of screw them down again. And if you don't pay attention long enough, it'll go flying. And you'll have no idea why you're doing what you're doing anymore. وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا. That's for us. Sabr, the concept of showing perseverance. And وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا, actually being able to step away when someone is harming you. That's extremely important. Within the surah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's a verse that's extremely heavy. He says, جَلَ جَلَالُهُ فَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ إِن كَفَرْتُمْ يَوْمًا يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا السَّمَاءُ مُنْفَطِرٌ بِهِ كَانَ وَعْدُهُ مَفْعُولًا إِنَّ هَذِهِ تَذْكِرَةٌ. How will you, if you don't understand what he's saying, this is as if what he's saying subhanahu wa ta'ala within the context of these verses. If you're not going to carry this, if you're not going to do what is needed to make sure that you adhere to this for the rest of your life and you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not walking or going astray from it, how are you going to protect yourself on a day when what occurs is so severe, is so difficult, is so horrifying that a child, that a baby, its hair will turn white. يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا. Out of fear of what they see. A lot of times in the Quran, subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't tell us what they're seeing. He just tells us how they reacted to what they saw and then leaves it to the imagination of what they actually saw. He doesn't tell us what actually happened. Here's what the people who saw it said or did. And this is what they looked like. يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا. The child will have gray hairs. His head will turn white. السَّمَاءُ مُنْفَطِرٌ بِهِ. The sky cannot carry the load of what happens on that day. It will crumble. كَانَ وَعْدُهُ مَفْعُولًا. Indeed, the promise that he made will come through. He will come through with his promise, subhanahu wa ta'ala, of that day occurring. Indeed, إِنَّ هَذِهِ تَذْكِرَةٌ. That's the first page of Surah Al-Muzzamil. If you turn the page of Surah Al-Muzzamil, you'll find a verse that doesn't fit. When you look at it, it looks kind of out of place. All the verses of Surah Al-Muzzamil are really short, just a couple of words. And then you have a verse that's half a page. Definitely this verse was revealed in Medina. Hands down, it was a verse that was revealed many years after the first one was. So that first page in Surah Al-Muzzamil was revealed maybe second, third, fourth day of his bi'tha alayhi salatu wasalam. The last verse was revealed at least 15 years later. إن ربك يعلم أنك تقوم أدنى من ثلثي الليل ونصفه وثلثه وطائفة من الذين معك والله يقدر الليل والنهار علم أن لن تحصوه فتاب عليكم فاقرؤوا ما تيسر من القرآن علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرؤوا ما تيسر منه. He says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, indeed your Lord knows that you haven't been able to keep this up all your life. You weren't able to do what we said at the beginning. You're doing a bit less. You're doing it more towards the thuluth and nusf, maybe half and less than maybe a third. And those around you who decided to actually take upon themselves the burden of doing it like you weren't able to do it either. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that there's differences of night and day. Wallahu yuqaddiru al-layla wan-nahar. And then he says, عَلِمَ أَن لَن تُحْصُوهُ. He knows that it's impossible for you to break it down exactly how much you're going to do every night. But he gives the command, فَقْرَؤُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. And then he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I know that some of you are going to be sick, and some of you are going to have jobs, and some of you are going to be out in jihad. It's going to be hard. فَقْرَؤُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْهُ. Read as much as you can. Read as much as you can. Why? Because this is what you need. Because the moment that you stop reading, basically the nourishment of your soul, it dries up. And you don't have the ability, you don't have the strength to continue to do this later on. You'll burn out. A moment will come, enough pressure will be applied upon you, and you'll step away. And you'll lose what was coming your way in terms of the service of the deen and meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, spending your life for His sake. If you want to be able to continue to walk the path He walked alayhi salatu wasalam all your life, you need that fuel, you need it, and it's the Quran, it's reciting it. قُمِ اللَّيْلِ, you're going to recite the Quran. You invocate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're invocating Him through words that exist in the Quran. It comes down to the book of Allah. It comes down to your ability to continue to read it and never actually turn your back on it, and always keep a certain amount of your time dedicated for that. Not because you have to do, not because it's a burden, but because you know that you need it. You know that in order for me to do this, I need to have the Quran inside of me. I have to keep on reading it. There has to be that feeling. If you don't feel it right now, that's okay. If you're like, that's not how I see the Quran, that's fine. But that has to change. And hopefully by the end of this month you change that. And the Quran becomes something that adds to you, doesn't subtract from you. Then you continue to the end of the ayah. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ هُوَ خَيْرًا وَأَعْظَمَ أَجْرًا. Pray and give your zakah. And everything you add for yourself, وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم, everything you do for your own sake, not for anyone else's sake, for your own sake, you will find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ready to reward you for it. Time, many folds more than what it was ever worth. وَاسْتَغْفِرُ And the final command he was given, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and make a lot of istighfar. Because it's going to be hard to follow all these. Be hard to make istighfar when you don't actually be able to do that. I hope that was beneficial. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله فيكم.